Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are or whatever part of the world you're in today. I hope that you are all staying in love and keeping safe during these new adventures, these new times, the creation of a whole new world that I believe is happening. And on the subject of communication, that's basically what we're going to talk about today, communication and beliefs, because there are 2 points that I think are quite valuable. And I will get around to your questions this time. And once again, your questions, please send in your questions. They're important because it gives me an idea of what to talk about on these calls, because you'll find that a lot of questions are, similar in nature and stuff like that. So please do send in your questions. And of course, in the prayer meditations that I do every day, once again, if you have any family member or, friend or anybody who you just want a name put on my list whilst I'm doing those meditations and prayers and chants, bewellclinic @yahoo.com, and that's BWELLCLINIC @yahoo.com. And it's okay to reach out for help, It's okay to reach out. I got a request from somebody who asked for prayers for friends and family members, and actually ended the email with, and I'm okay, I don't need your prayers. And I replied I said, I'm sending prayers to all your family and friends and you, because we all need prayers at times. So just before I continue, all the new people, because I know there's a lot of new people listening in now who have never probably even heard of me before until they were invited onto these calls. I think the best thing to try explain to you about myself is that, I'm just this, what I would have called the weird kid, right? So I want you to know something about me. I was always a weird child, as that was the tag at the time. But the truth is, and was, that I've always used spirituality over everything else. I studied psychotherapy and science to back up my beliefs that I was not weird, but just connected to something bigger. And so, even though I lean mostly towards spirituality after studying the sacred holy books of the world and traveling all over the world from Tibet to India to all these places, talking to people who seem to have a connection or know stuff about stuff that I found fascinating and interesting. And because I had done martial arts from such a young age, the mind over matter really had a much more profound effect on me than what we call standard education type of stuff. But, it led me to training my mind over my body, to attaining master black belt in the martial arts, and to go on and train world champions, and even recently to know that one of my students is now an Irish Olympic taekwondo person who unfortunately won't get to go to the Olympics this year because of what's happened, but he has good foundations. I've been following him, and he knows what he's about, and he'll come out the other end. And I absolutely believe he'll win a medal. I hope it's a gold medal, because he's worked really, really hard to get there. So I wish him great luck. So, I have that sort of ability to help people to achieve their goals and their dreams. And after 9/11 happened, that was the door that really opened for me when I used all my skills and techniques and trainings and spiritual know-how to help people who had been affected by that crisis. And, that gave me a lot of insights into what a crisis is, how people react in that crisis, and what's the best way to help. I was also one of the first people on the ground in Grenfell, in the Grenfell Tower disaster in London, to be there to offer my skills and my student skills and the teachers who I've taught their skills to help the people get over that crisis. So, this is a team effort. I have been in these situations and it has helped some, and other people may not have helped. But that doesn't concern me that much because, you can only offer what you offer, and some people will accept it and some people won't. But I'd like to thank all the people, Jonathan, Louise. I'll definitely start mentioning names because if I do, I'll go on forever. All the people who have helped me to bring this message to you, I'd like to thank them. And again, as I say, I'm saying prayers for everybody else. Some of the stuff that I'm sending out through my channel, sometimes it caused a little maybe confusion. So there's a message that I sent out recently, and I just want to make it clear that I'm not the author of that message. God or somebody is the author of that message. So I don't want to accept undue anything about it. So, for me, it's about when I give out a message, it's because it resonates. And I'm going to talk to you about resonation and frequency as well in a little while. For me, it's about the resonation of things. And so, I'm inspired to send some stuff forward and other stuff not. And like you heard me say recently about, I was inspired by the fake letter that went out supposedly from Bill Gates. And, I was inspired because I actually went, wow, here's somebody who is in a powerful position, giving a really good, clear, strong directive and message. And then when I found out it was a fake letter, I wasn't annoyed or concerned, actually. I just went, well, something? It worked for me. It gave me a boost. And as I'm going to explain to you in a minute how that all works, I think it worked very well. So from that point of view, I understand that, it's about controlling what I can understand. And it's about controlling what I can control. But I don't give energy anymore to anything that I can't control because I discovered it's a waste of energy. So let me give you an insight, if I may, please, about what I've learned. And as I've said, I just went looking for scientific evidence that backed up spiritual stuff and vice versa. I do absolutely believe that, science without spirituality is ignorant, and spirituality without science is blind. So, you know what? It's such a pity that they were torn apart in the way that they were, because both have equal importance when it comes to the well-being of people, the world, and everybody in it. And specifically at this time, it's a good time to understand that. So let me explain, as I learned or as I studied, because as I say, I studied psychotherapy and whatever, just so that I just wanted to see if these ideas, these thoughts and these experiences that I was having was valid or not. And, I'm glad to inform people that I found out that not only were they absolutely powerful and brilliant, but they have helped me live a much more peaceful and calm life. So let me talk a little bit about your communication to yourself, to the world and everybody in it, but specifically to the self, because as I said, it's about controlling what you can control and not what you can't control. So you can't make somebody else believe something if they choose not to. You can't make somebody love you if they don't. You can't make them believe you. So this is how it works, as I found out to be the truth, based on spiritual application as well as psychotherapeutic technique and scientific evidence. So communication will depend on our beliefs. So let's talk about how to understand beliefs, how they're formed, and their functions. The mind will always find a way to fulfill the beliefs it holds. When you have a chance to listen to this recording again later on, every one of these statements, sit and meditate. Sit quietly in that cosmic silence and meditate on each of these, and you'll understand what they mean in your life and the world. So the mind will always find a way to fulfill the beliefs it holds. That's a very powerful statement, as is some of the rest of them to me. But they're all interconnected, and they will help you finally get to understand how to keep yourself well during this coronavirus and any other illness or virus that may visit this planet, as a messenger to tell us to wake up to ourselves and their stupidity and ignorance at times. So, within our unconscious mind, the name given to the totality of all the different beliefs we hold as true is called the ego. Your ego will not let you see what does not fit in with what you already believe to be true. So in other words, if you don't make room for a higher truth or a higher experience, then where you are is where you stay. So you have to make room. And I remember attending a Japanese tea ceremony one time, and somebody told me a story, and then it was demonstrated about, the guy who was sitting there. He had lots of money, and he had asked the Japanese tea master to do the ceremony, that he would pay him and whatever, and that he wanted to learn something, and it was all done very beautifully and gracefully or whatever. But as the tea was being poured out, the tea master never stopped pouring until this man realised. He went, oh, stop, it's overflowing. And the tea master just looked at him and went, yes, a little like yourself. You already know everything, so why have you come here? It's a waste. So, sometimes it's nice to be humble. Sometimes it's nice to be open to learn these new things. And this is where the negative and the positive ego can come into play. Your ego will not let you see what does not fit in with what you already believe to be true. So there is a law of belief. And the law of belief is a natural law which basically says that whatever I believe, I meaning my mind, always achieves. So whatever it is you believe, the I, you, always achieves. That word always is very powerful. So no matter what you're putting in there, you're going to have that effect, which is why communicating inside your head is as important as communicating outside your head. Because that I believe, that mind that always achieves, for me, it'll either happen in reality or in imagination as the placebo effect. So even if you have to use your imagination, imagination, it too is part of the placebo effect. And as I often argued and said, hey, somebody had an illness, they got a sugar pill, the illness is gone because they believed the power of the person who gave them the sugar pill, and so who cares? The illness is gone. Do you really care? Is it not about being well and being happy? So whatever effect or whatever it takes, it should be you, the receiver, that decides its outcome. And your belief will have a huge effect on that. So if you believe that you're going to catch this virus, let me tell you, you've already put the net up to catch it. If you believe you won't, or that if you do, it'll be so mild you won't even notice it, it'll be like it'll call, this too will become your reality, your manifested truth. So your communication to yourself and your beliefs are very important. And so you'll begin to realize there's a pattern to this, there's a programming that is scientifically and neurologically, already being tested. And it's, thoughts give birth to ideas, which take root in your mind, which gives birth to new thoughts, which gives birth to new ideas, and so on, making a new belief or program. When this is happening, as we experience things, as we're learning, as we're listening to what people are saying, like people can listen to this recording and have, if there's, 6,000 people listening to this recording, you'll have 6 different versions of what I said, 6,000 versions, should I say, of what I said, because we are individual entities. And what happens is when these effects, these experiences and these emotions are being thrown at us, what we do is our mind does this technique called DDG. And this begins that process known as DDG, which is distortion, deletion, and generalization. What does that mean? It basically means that, it'll be distorted because our belief might believe one thing and we're not willing to hear something else, so we begin to, distort the message. We'll delete certain parts out of the message because, it doesn't fit into our makeup or whatever it is. Or we might generalize the message and miss the root of the message, the spiritual, the energy drive of the nucleus of the message. And again, welcome to the world. Everybody does this. It's okay, There's no such thing really as wrong or right. There's just room for learning. There's room for growth if you make it. But if there's no room, like the Japanese tea story, you'll just overflow and sure, I'll give you great and well done and congratulations. No problem. What does this mean? This means that the belief structure will be organized around a framework of primary and secondary beliefs. The unconscious mind will achieve this since it will then be able to focus its energy on fulfilling the primary belief, which in turn will go on to fuel a secondary belief. Again, what do I mean by that? It means that this is about us now checking in on our beliefs. Is there room for more love in your life now? Is there room for more joy and more happiness? Is there room for family and communications and friends? Is there room for health and well-being? Have you finished running around like a headless chicken? If not, I think these messengers that are here now, these are here to get us to understand. If you don't stop, this is going to stop you. So best to stop under your own steam. How we talk to ourselves in our heads, the brain has a plastic system in it, which has really only been discovered in the last while, that allows us to reprogram so that, the old saying, I'm sure you remember this saying, I certainly do, that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, that doesn't apply anymore, because we've now discovered that the brain actually is capable, no matter what age you are, of relearning or reprogramming or redisciplining some aspect of our life. So let's all start today to reprogram our minds, saying statements like this: every day, in every single way, I'm feeling stronger, healthier, and happier. Every day, in every single way, I am feeling stronger, healthier, and happier. And the more energy you put behind those sayings, the more they take root in your belief system, and the more they kick the program of health and well-being into your body. I talked to you on the last call about putting spirit before the mind and the body. And so, again, just explaining that spirit is the likes of the prayers or the chants or the things that are, put out into the ether, into the void, into the energy system that, again, science has already informed us that 9.9999999% of, the world is made up of empty energy. So, you have all this energy you can call on. If you engage it, you can call it God, Spirit, Source. I'm telling you, I believe that if there's a God, it really doesn't care what you call it. It just wants you to call it. Like a friend that you've fallen out with might want you to call them because they don't have the courage to say, I'm sorry, or they don't have the courage to do it, but maybe you do. And if you do, then do. And if not, don't. But that spirit. And then the mind is the messengers of hope. The message of hope resonates in the mind. It's just sitting there, just waiting once again to be, engaged like a good computer, effectively saying to itself, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and, like any computer, wait for a programmer to come along and program a new program for me to believe, because that's really what this is going to be all about. It's about giving yourself hope, giving yourself love, faith. And so I came across this, and I think this is very powerful. Here's a message that I think will resonate with anybody, no matter who they are, what station of life they're at, what religion they are, because it's a simple statement, story of empowerment. It's called the 4 candles. 4 candles slowly burning. The ambience and radiance was so soft, one could almost hear them talking. The first candle said, I am hope. The world is full of anger and fighting, and nobody can keep it lit. Then the flame of hope went out. Then came the second candle that said, hope, I will not give up, and relit hope. But then the second candle said, I am faith. I am no longer indispensable. It doesn't make sense that I stay lit. Another moment, just then a breeze softly blew faith's flame out. Then the third candle spoke. I am love. People don't understand my importance, so they simply put me aside. They even forget to love those who are nearest to them. And waiting no longer, the flame of love went out. Suddenly a child entered the room and saw the 3 candles. Why aren't you burning? Said the child. You're supposed to stay lit till the end. Saying this, the child began to cry. Then the 4th candle answered, don't be afraid. I am hope. While I'm still burning, we can relight the other candles. With shining eyes, the child took the candle of hope and lit the other candles. The greatest of these is love. But the flame of hope should never go out of your life. With hope, each of us can live with peace, faith, and love. So never let go of hope. Hope will always be there to light the other candle. So keep hope close. So that's your mind receiving a message of hope. Your body with slow movement and light exercise will keep itself in a good condition to carry the spirit, the consciousness that keeps you going. It is your messenger. It will tell you if something is out of alignment. What is the message of this virus? I believe it's telling people you are out of alignment with nature. You are out of alignment with love. And because of that, I am going to make my home in you. But where love is present, where strong faith, love, hope and charity is present, it won't want to visit there as readily. So how to talk to people during this time of newness, this awakening to truth. The truth that will set us free if we listen, is never blame. Never blame anyone. Always take responsibility for this yourself. Take the power of your manifestation and manifest it in the way you wish it to be. So if at times you get into fear or angry or anxious and you're you need to express something. Don't express it in a blame tone. It will do no good. This is how you do it. If you're talking to somebody who might be, filling you with fear or anxiety or whatever, you start off by saying something like, this is how I'm feeling, not you're making me feel. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I perceive is going on. So that way you're expressing your feelings, not just accusing others of being wrong. We all know when stuff, i.e. anger, is beginning to build most of the time, right? We know. Most anger is really an explosion when the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's just when, it's been building, and because you didn't express it properly, because you held it inside, it's now ready to explode. Where if you had have done it in this is how I'm feeling, this is how these actions are making me feel, this is how this situation is making me feel, then there's no blame. And it's a much more fluid experience. So, the straw that breaks the camel's back moment. Let me explain what anger actually is in my experience after finally understanding what made me angry. What was the root cause of my angers? And I was able to bring it down to a concept. And the concept was that anger is a desire not being fulfilled. Anger is a desire not being fulfilled. I'm angry because the government is not doing enough. You desire them to do more. I'm angry because I don't have enough money. Again, a desire not being fulfilled. I'm angry because you didn't bring me flowers. I'm angry because. You will note that there's always a because. There's always a desire. And if you can start to eliminate those desires, if you can start to literally put a ceiling on your desires, you will find that life just becomes much more fulfilling. Just before I left India several weeks ago, I had one of the most amazing, loving, and simple experiences. I was invited by an Indian family to share the meal one evening. And I felt really bad because I was saying, oh my God, how can I go in and eat this meal when, I'm already a little overfed probably, But yet I knew it was so important for them to invite me. So because of that, my love brought me in. Nothing else, just my love, because I understood they were offering me abundance. They were sharing themselves, and I wanted to be part of that. But what I wasn't expecting is the 5 people sitting there, and then me, that was 6. And the meal was brought out. And the meal consisted of maybe 3 potatoes boiled with a couple of herbs sprinkled on them. And a piece of toast each. And that was our main meal for the day. And I was just overwhelmed. And to be honest, I just wanted to capture that moment for times when I felt greedy or I felt poor me. So I asked, could I take a photograph of us, of the meal? And they said, sure. And so I took a photograph, and I have that photograph of those 3 potatoes. And it turned out that this family were Christian. And it was like watching the loaves and fishes. It truly was. As the man of the house said, the prayer of grace, these bounties, these gifts we are about to receive through Christ our Lord, amen. The love was so there. I was wobbling inside. And so we all took our little share, and there was some left. And I felt full, because I was full of love. I was full of something far more important. And because I had been practicing these sealing on desires, it was an easy task. So, sealing on desires will make your life happier and let go of anger. But that's really the message of what we're about now. This is what it's about. It's about us now giving thanks and gratitude for everything we have. Because we have far more than others. And we will survive. Especially if we believe. The breaking point that I was speaking about, the anger, this releases chemicals into your system that can take a long time to clear, years in some people's cases. You know this. People get angry at people and they never speak to them again. The anger is constant, like a poison. And it's a chemical. It's actually traceable. Yet if you look at the root cause, that desire not being filled, you can begin to neutralize the effects of the chemical by taking some slow, deep breath, by stepping away, leaving the environment for a period of time, not running away angry, slamming doors, just leaving the environment. And if your blood is boiling, you can do stuff. I remember techniques like putting something cold on your temples. And this too will help, strangely enough. This too will help you. It'll help you to cool the blood. So, let me start answering, if I may, some of the questions that were sent in. And as I say, these are important questions because everything I've spoken about, hopefully, is parts of the answers to these questions. But I'll just read them out in the order that they came in. Hi. I keep hearing the media speaking about flattening the curve now. Can you please explain the significance of this now and the correlation with what you taught us during the October 2015 workshop in Ireland when we learned about flattening the wave? Wow, good question. You taught us when the wave was flattened, we were manifesting either consciously or unconsciously, and gave us a meditation to help us stay in the moment of consciously creating. And you reminded us how powerful our thoughts were and stress, the importance of staying in the moment to consciously create more. This is what I think you said. Feel the subtle energies directing you. Stay present in the 0 point to consciously create, to manifest only what you want. Focus on your inner journey and all is well. The person asking this question says they feel it's so relevant to the experience that's happening today, and could I explain a little bit more? So obviously, yes, I remember teaching that at a week-long workshop in Ireland, and we also used sacred geometry, and we went through a lot of things. And basically what I was talking about is frequency and the understanding of frequency. Because, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, pharmaceutical companies may not want people to understand that there is a frequency to everything. There's a frequency. associated with this virus? There's a frequency associated with you. There's a frequency, measurable frequency that science has measured. Okay? And when a frequency is high, like you've heard, I'm sure, of people who they have a glass and then they hit this tone and this tone shatters the glass. There's frequency, words, thoughts, experiences does that as well. So if something is peaking and you want it to come down, first you have to know what its frequency is, and then you can drop the frequency. And so, whether it's using something like, which they say is the sound of creation when NASA put the mics out into space. Well, so now we've got to saying hi to God, we've got to saying hi to creation. The word Amen has the same resonance. So it's you reach out and you pray. You say, come back down here. Come down to the resonance of 4.32 megahertz, which is love. We don't want to, kill and shoot the messenger. We want the messenger to stop harming us. Okay? But we can do that using vibrations. And let me, rather than go into a big long answer here, let me point you to a man, what was his name? Anthony Holland. Go on to that Google, the new guru on the block, Google, and put in Anthony Holland. I think it's Shattering Cancer with Resonant Frequencies is the name. And you know what? Take it from there, because what the guy basically has done is using his musical talents, he's connected with scientists who show this frequency thing that has gone and affected cellular illness. And look, I leave it up to him. I'm not a doctor, but have a look at it if you have time. Thank you for that question. Next question. Thank you for opening your heart and online space at this amazing time on the planet. Thank you for listening and taking the time. Question. Could you lead us in forgiving the virus? Very beautiful. 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 Could you lead us in forgiving the virus, ourselves, our leaders, the fear, the concern, and the anxiety? Forgiveness on all levels for the highest good. What a great insight. What a great insight, and what a great question. I've always said, forgiving is good, forgetting is better. Forgetting can also hide things. So we can only really forget about it when it's completely flattened. When that curve is flattened, we can forget about it. Until then, it's there. So, forgiving. Well, again, what is the message of this? It's saying, one, you believe that we're all separate. This is the virus talking. You believe that you are all separate. I'm going to show you that you are all connected. You believed that you could do it on your own. I'm going to show you can. You believed that you could never, ever run out of resources. I'm going to show you that you can. That's the virus. And so we need to all, each and every one of us, go inside ourselves and ask, at what stage did we feel that we were better than other people? We need to forgive ourselves for that. We're all in this. We're all part of the same creation. So, did greed enter us? If so, let's work on it. Don't kill yourself. Don't beat yourself up, because if you do that, you're creating negative programs again. No. That's all finished. Now is the time for love-filled programs. So, just forgive yourself. Catch yourself if you ever continue to do it. And the more you do that, the more the program will fit in. when you listen to this recording again, you'll hear I explain it very well, I hope, at the start about how it all works from a scientific and technical level, but this is it from the heart now. So, first forgive yourself, then forgive everything around you. First self, then inwards, then outwards. You'll probably find, by the way, when you go inside, you won't want to come out to forgive anybody because you'll realise you've been creating a lot of it. And it can save you a lot of hardship, a lot of harm, and a lot of grief. Great question. Thank you for asking it. Next question. Would you please talk about the feeling of guilt for being in a safe place and not being able to help those who are suffering with physical action? Again, I believe in cause and effect. I believe in karma. I believe that, we're born to die. I know that sounds terrible to some people's ears, but this is the truth. And either we look at the truth now or we don't. We don't know how long our cycle is going to be. We really don't. And something, once we understand cycles, fear will go. You know what? If we understood death, we wouldn't fear it that much. And we'd actually start to live better lives if we could let go of the fear. So all as you can do is what you can do. When I'm sitting in my meditations, people who are sending in prayer requests or whatever it is, I absolutely believe that I am radiating the light of love, God in all its forms, her forms and its forms, and I'm just sort of some sort of, battery station. I know that there's a bit of slagging on the internet about, the Irish guy who thinks he's a telegraph pole or whatever crap somebody wants to put up out there. But actually, my truth is that I believe we all get love and light sent to us from the heavens, and how we react to it is what we manifest and put out. So maybe I am a bit of maybe they're right. I just took it up the wrong way, but I just laughed at the carry on. Don't feel guilty. Feel love. Because if you feel guilt, you'll attract more guilt. If you feel fear, you'll attract more fear. That which you fear the most will come upon you. So, don't feel anything except give thanks and gratitude. Give grace for where you are right now, and pray that everybody else finds that safe place too. That's it. As simple as that. That's as important as any of this stuff that I do. Or I know we're all being drowned with media crap right now. We're being drowned with people all of a sudden, like they're all like professors who are coming out of the woodwork, who are, celebrities or whatever they are. And it's like all of a sudden they become these wise beings of hope. And I'm going, well, looking at what you were doing before this happened, I'm sorry. My vision of you wasn't as clear then as it is now. God bless you. I'm so happy that you're waking up to sharing this caring, without it becoming an ego trip for you or anybody else. So, only love going forward. Next question. Dr. Masuri Emoto showed that our thoughts and intentions change the molecular structure of water. You say to love the coronavirus in and out of existence, and where love is in it cannot be. Can you please speak to the following? Does everything in the universe want to return to love, even the coronavirus? Can everything be changed at a molecular level in this way? Again, I think that's pointing back toward what I was talking about, the frequencies of things. Do you shoot the messenger? I remember being trained using hypnosis, where you could take away people's pain, headaches, backaches, all these things. And, you know, it was great because I used the technique and I take away some people's pains and they were grateful and I was happy and everybody was wonderful until I ran it by my spiritual part. And my spiritual part kept saying something needs to be looked at, something deeper. And what I found out was the messenger was being shot before they delivered the message. So then I started to realize, oh my God, the pain is only a messenger that's telling us something is out of alignment with love. So unless you find out what's out of alignment in love, don't shoot the messenger. The pain should disappear by its own when everything is back in alignment. That's how I understand it to be anyway. So when it's back in alignment with love, then it becomes part of the whole and the cooperation of who we are and what makes us. So I would say, you know, I stopped taking away people's physical pain. I gave them tools to find out what the message was. And you'd be absolutely, and, you know, Louise L. Hay, she had great work on this stuff, but, you know, I only found this afterwards, but, like, you know, that every pain has a message, every part of your body has a message, and it's very powerful. Again, you know, there's lots of stuff out there to learn about that, but, you know, be careful what you're allowing into your system, because there's also an awful lot of crap on the internet, unfortunately. So as I've often said, that I learned from my teacher, you know, time for inner net, not so much internet. So in other words, time to go in. So next question. Thank you for offering these incredible, great. My question today is about action. The idea of right action versus timely action, and knowing when inaction is the most supportive choice, even when it seems counterintuitive or counterproductive. When faced with a sense of right and wrong, or the disruptive behaviour and actions of those who cannot control, how does one discern the clearest course of action in any given situation? Again, it's not so much about their actions, it's about what are they trying to teach you about yourself? What is this trying to do? It's a mirror. It's showing you parts of yourself that needs to be worked on. All perception is projection. I've said this loads of times, and it's got me through a lot of crap when people were projecting their anger, their hurt issues on me, you know, blaming me for it as if I was the cause of it, when it was their perception and they're projecting it onto me. And there's nothing you can do about that when people do that, unfortunately. You know, you try to stop them for their sake, not for your sake all the time, but sometimes it doesn't always work. So the best action we can take is a loving action. That we're not really reaching for the fruits of our actions. We're doing it because it's right. It's the right time and it's the right motivation. That's how I would understand this to be. So, you know, it also gives you, as I say, an opportunity to know when somebody is treating you bad. Do you really have to stay there? No. Next question. Here is, okay, right. Hi, Derek. I'm grateful to see you'll be offering this. I just finished a Vaspana in Hawaii, right? 10-day silent retreat, and had no idea about the state of affairs until I left. I love that. So you're in a great meditative bubble. Brilliant. I fell in love with a man after retreat, and we have been travelling together for a few days since I've been quarantined here in Hawaii. It's amazing, no matter where you're quarantined now. There was a time you'd say, oh my God, wouldn't I love to be quarantined in Hawaii? Well, wouldn't I love to be just out in nature anywhere now? So it is amazing the way even those things change. So the question is, I find myself in a very interesting situation. He happens to be homeless. I didn't know that's what he meant when he said, I love on Hawaii. Like literally, he loves on the earth of Hawaii. At first, it was really intriguing to learn about him. Day 3 together, and I noticed he is very defensive in his speech and very moody. And in my many ways, it triggered me in similar ways as Mom. So I know it's being triggered to heal. As I said, he is homeless, so we are living out of a van here and sleep on the earth. First night the cops told us to leave the area. Third night the ocean tide soaked their sheets and woke us up. He doesn't like to use a tent. I know I manifested this for a reason at this time. I'm learning a lot about respecting myself, the beauty of silence, simplicity and old traumas that I'm healing by being with my inner child a lot. While there are beautiful moments with him, almost every day we bicker. He was bullied as a child, and anything I say he tends to be defensive. He is slowly becoming aware of it with my reflection, and he apologised several times. However, still is quite moody and defensive, and our situation is unpredictable. I'm wondering if I should stay with him. God, they're asking me. I'm wondering if I should stay with him to learn whatever is left to learn to clear my karma, or if I can learn the rest without him, and the lesson is to choose my work and own power and leave to where I can feel more stability. I hope this question can also serve the collective at this time. Well, of course it can, because all questions do. And I would never allow myself now to be in an abusive situation. I just wouldn't, because, my environment is too precious to me now. My life is too precious. The people I spend time with now, I choose more wisely than I used to. And I used to let people, like for years I allowed people abuse me. I allowed people say things about me that wasn't true. And then one night I just woke up in a cold sweat and I went into deep meditation, and the message I got was, finished. Time, Derek, to show people that they can no longer treat you like this. Let your actions be in alignment with your thoughts, words and deeds. And so I took action, and I stopped allowing people bully me. I stopped allowing people saying things about me that wasn't true. And I began to show them that I was no longer going to listen to them. And I was no longer going to be with them. And I was no longer going to give them energy. And so I would say we don't need the hardship all the time to learn. Sometimes we can just learn by the experiences we already have. That doesn't mean I'm saying stay with the person or leave the person. That will always be your choice. What I'm saying is I no longer allow people into my satsang, whether it's a thought in my mind, whether it's a physical being, or whether it's my sacred space. I don't allow them in or this virus unless I invited it. So that's the answer. Refer, that's all I have time for today. So I'd like to just end this call with a very simple prayer, a very simple call to action. Please, if you found this information helpful in any way, there are many, many souls going to be in need of help, to help them with their anxiety, their mental wellness and whatever, to help them make sense of the senseless that's going on now. I know as fear begins to grow, as numbers begin to grow. I know when you heard, like earlier on, I think I heard something about 3.5 million people in last week after losing their jobs in the United States. And they're only really beginning their journey now, whilst other countries have already gone through different stages. So I'd like to send a prayer to all the people in the countries whose leaders may not have did the best jobs in the world, but I'm sure they're trying their best. And I'm sure they're going to try even harder now that the world is looking at them. But let me just ask that, let this prayer go out to the heart and soul of every being on this planet. Let everybody on this planet feel the love of our gathering here. May we not just keep this for ourselves, but send it out into the world, like sending out bubbles from your breath, bubbles of love that will touch people's heart, awaken them and let them know there's a resource here, a clear, I hope clear resource that will be helpful to all the world. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your time. And again, send in your questions and prayer requests or whatever to Be Well Clinic. And I'll do as much as I can, but I'm telling you, I'm taking a lot of time to myself as well now. You see that I'm out in nature a lot. I'm very lucky. I live in a place that's not densely populated, so I get to walk in places where there's not a lot of people and be in nature still, so that's great. God bless you all. Keep growing your hearts and only be in love. Be in love and stay safe. Thank you. Goodbye and see you all again next Monday. God bless. Bye-bye.